And hello again, YouTube. So I found when I was looking at Walmart, not exactly the way I would have wanted to find it, but I'm all in all, I'm kind of happy with how this worked out. So it's 7:39 p.m. Thursday, February 24th, 2022. I just checked the transit app to see when the route 60 when the Route 60 westbound bus would be happening next, and it's not until 8:03. And I'm checking at the the bus stop over at over by the hospital formerly known as Baptist Hospital. Yeah, saying 8:03 is when it's going to show up, and it's running late, which means it's probably going to actually be later. Yeah, it's 7:39 right now, so I can probably walk to Bullocks from here faster than that. So yeah, it's going to be an on foot journey, which is a little frustrating. Because I'm about a mile away from Bullocks right now, a little over a mile, and it really shouldn't be faster to walk over a mile than to take public transit, but I live in Phoenix, so it is what it is. I'm almost wishing I had walked out through the mall. Y'all could have seen what's left of the inside of Christown Mall. Wow, nice to see that K-Momo still has their front entrances open. Back when Christown was a thriving mall, every store on this side of the mall had a front entrance that faced the parking lot, as well as an inside entrance that faced the mall. Now this is interesting. I never noticed this before. See, Melrose Family Fashions actually does have that, but I never noticed there was a Cricket store that just faced the parking lot and didn't face the mall. That's interesting. But yeah, most of the stores have done like this. They've just kind of done away with their outside entrances, or they've done like Famous Footwear, where the entrance is there, but it says please use mall entrance. I remember when I was a kid in the 70s, coming to this mall quite a bit, and always loving the window displays, which at least there's still a few of, and loving how there was, stores. It was like a strip mall and a mall combined. Wow, interesting. Looks like Wingstop functions from inside and outside the mall, or maybe Wingstop is just from the outside of the mall. It's interesting. It's kind of weird how this mall is just sort of decayed and evolved and decayed and evolved. There's the T-Mobile store, and yeah, please use other door. There's sort of an entrance from outside the mall, but not much. Not in service. And a good portion of what used to be the inside mall just doesn't even exist anymore. This is the main entrance still right here. Oh, and as you see, it's actually called Christown Spectrum Mall. Many, many years ago, I want to say maybe 25 years ago, under new ownership, tried to change the name of the mall to Spectrum Mall, and people did not like that. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the changing of names of landmarks, and at least they had the good sense after backlash to change it back to Christown Spectrum Mall. I wish I had some pictures of what the original mall entrance looked like, because it used to be from here. You come in on I believe this is the 17th Avenue entrance. When you go south on 17th Avenue into the parking lot from Bethany Home, it used to be just giant, bold, if memory serves, blue letters that said Christown. They were just huge, and I feel like they were actually inside the mall, and you could see them from the outside through big open windows. Big, not open, but you know what I mean, like just big glass windows you could see through. That's how I remember it. I could be remembering it wrong when we're talking about like 40 plus year old childhood memories here. But front entrance still looking okay as it is. It's just not what I remember from my childhood, which I liked a whole lot more. The inside of the mall, a little disappointing today. Seemed like there were more vacancies since the last time I walked through the mall. And yes, this is 17th Avenue. It seems like there were definitely more vacancies since the last time I walked through the mall. And there were also a large amount of stores that were closed for the day, had their gates pulled down. Or if, they're a kiosk type store in the middle of the mall, had everything locked up and covered up. Which, at 7:44 p.m., that's, and mind you, that was before I went into Walmart, so we're talking just a little bit after 7 o'clock when I went through. That's kind of sad. So I know there's city council planning commission meetings that are scheduled, and a new developer has purchased this property. And I think what's on deck is just a final demolition of the mall, which makes me really sad. This is kind of a historic mall, and once upon a time it was a place to be. Of course, the last I remember it really being a place to be would have been in the 70s. Even by the late 80s, it was kind of not doing so great. Kind of funny. I remember seeing a post within the last week or so on Reddit in R Phoenix about Christown Mall, and people just actually what the post was about. It's all coming back to me now. Was about what the worst intersection was in Phoenix, and that was the title of the post. And then in the body of the post, he had mentioned, that he keeps hearing bad things about what it's like around 19th Avenue and Indian School. So, what do other people in the subreddit think is the worst intersection? And it's kind of interesting because it went in two completely polar different directions. Some people took it to mean, even though he was clearly talking, at least what I saw in the context, was talking about, like worst as in most bad elements hanging around the intersection, which to me would be things like, drug dealers, junkies passed out on bus stops, people smoking fentanyl just right out on the corner, that sort of thing. And the sort of stuff that you see in my vlog almost every day. There we go. Here's a public notice of the zoning hearing for changing up Christown Mall. And I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to try to get close enough. It's somebody wants to go, somebody cares. It's all in here. Proposal: planned unit development to allow for retail, office, and multifamily. Change of maximum dwelling units allowed from 0 to no maximum. In other words, they're looking for a mixed-use development with pack and stack residential, and I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what becomes of it. At this point, part of me is really sad at the thought of losing Christown Mall, and part of me is just like, well, it's such a shell of its former self that, maybe it is time for something different and time for something residential oriented. Although it seems these new developments are always, it doesn't help the lack of affordable housing situation, and I'm using affordable as in housing that is affordable, not the common definition of affordable housing, which is housing that is somehow underwritten by the local government. But one thing I definitely noticed is, as I walked and I was doing the last video, and yes, it cut off, the video recording app just shit itself for no apparent reason. I didn't feel like restarting. So yeah, y'all missed out on that rant. I might go off about it later, but I'm trying to be in a positive mood going into Bullocks, and just thinking about those things was making me negative, even though it did bring me in $50. So yeah, as I was walking, right around the time that so lots of stores, you know, between Ross and Target on that side, as a strip, you know, as a strip mall, everything facing, you know, to the west. There is no interior mall on that side of the mall. That's long since been demolished and removed. And then right around the corner, you got the PetSmart. I hope you don't see that in distance. And then walking that way towards the main entrance of the mall, there is just, it's quite a lot of just sidewalk with nothing. Like, you can see where there could potentially be some storefronts there, but there's not. Speaking of riffraff at bus stops, oh my God, I can smell the malt liquor just walking by that bus stop. Damn. So anyway, yeah, the space between PetSmart and then where you finally have the mall entrance, there's a lot of just outside sidewalk with nothing. I don't smoke. It's okay, I'm an asshole too. I'm not waiting. Look like homeless people waiting right there on the corner. There's a shopping cart with the couple there. That the guy asked me for a cigarette. That's what I think of when I think of worst intersections. But yeah, about half of the people in that discussion on Reddit took it to mean worst intersections in terms of traffic or trying to figure out how to navigate it, which I guess shows just how addicted to car brain most Phoenicians are. That they're just looking at what the intersection is through their windshield as opposed to what is actually on the intersection, which is what you just saw. A bus full of people drinking malt liquor that are probably not waiting for the bus but taking up a lot of space, and a homeless couple bumming cigarettes arguing about who's the bigger asshole next to their shopping cart full of garbage. Yeah, 19th Avenue and Bethany Home, not one of the best intersections in town, in spite of the fact that it has the coolest architecture of a bowling alley. It's definitely in Arizona. This Bolero building is awesome. Cranking out some Guns N' Roses. All right, another video that will never be able to be monetized. Really, that's not a big concern to me. It's just one of those things that makes me hate on YouTube policy and how some incidental music in the background of walking somewhere suddenly makes a video copyright infringing. That system is fucking broken, because nobody's coming to this video to listen to Guns N' Roses. To get some shots of this place in the daytime. It is a really, really cool, like mid-century modern building with crazy angles of the roof jutting out. Never gone bowling there. Not really that into bowling, but so I can't really make a judgment call on anything other than the architecture as viewed from the outside. So anyway, like talking about three things at once here. Hope you're able to follow all that. So yeah, subreddit post, or that post on our Arizona subreddit about worst intersections. Definitely one of the intersections that was mentioned quite frequently was, and not about traffic, although it was mentioned as being shitty for traffic, 19th Avenue and Camelback. And then somebody else asked how that compared to 19th Avenue and Montebello. For me and where I go on transit, 19th and Montebello was a much bigger deal to me than 19th and Camelback. However, people who drive probably don't even generally notice that Montebello is a street that exists. So I'm just looking at the strip mall, kind of reminded me of what I was going to talk about before this last video cut off, about the discussion I had with Jim about my last show at Bullock. So hopefully I, in my mind, get back to talking about that, because I do want to get that out. because I had very mixed feelings about it, and I wasn't as bothered about it as Jim was. But anyway, this sidewalk is so narrow for a major street. I think I've got this building on video before. Now it's dark, you can't really see it, but this is a really cool neighborhood bar called the Recovery Room. I'm not sure how long it's been closed, but it was around, it says since 1984 on the sign, but yeah, as long as I can remember. And one thing that bar really had going for it, if you're a guy like me that is really attracted to working class women as opposed to gold dicking, looking for a man to support them women, and finds a woman dressed in scrubs to be really hot, that was a place to meet him. It really was. Just so many just got off shift nurses and medical workers would hang out in there from the giant hospital across the street, and then all the medical processes surround it. Okay, we got this guy just parked on the sidewalk. Another guy also parked on the sidewalk. I actually put a post on Fuck Cars yesterday of a tour bus that was almost completely blocking the bike lane, the newly added, I might add, bike lane on 3rd Street, just north of Phoenix City Hall, between Phoenix City Hall and the Phoenix City Court there. And somebody told me that was that posting anything in Arizona was just in Fuck Cars was cheating. And to a point, he's right. Yeah, showing Phoenix is an example of bad infrastructure for somebody who's doing anything other than driving a motor vehicle is as much of a no-brainer as somebody posting stuff from the Netherlands of good infrastructure that's not car focused. I've seen people who post that stuff being told, well, that's cheating. That's just you're just playing the game on easy mode, showing a picture of the Netherlands. Never been to Europe, never been to the Netherlands, but I would like to go sometime, preferably before I'm too old to enjoy it. So hopefully while I'm still, at the very least, still in my mid-50s. Still in my mid-50s and looking like I could still be in my mid-40s. Oh gosh, I'm going in so many tangents at once. What the hell was I trying to talk about here? Anyway, how about the Reddit post? I'm in a Reddit frame of mind lately. So anyway, someone was asking, how and of course talking about what made the intersection bad at 19th Avenue and Camelback was all the riffraff getting on and off the buses and on and off the light rail, and just loitering there doing drugs, and homeless people hanging out there, coupled with the fact that it's kind of a car clusterfuck as well. And somebody had asked how that compared to up at Montebello and Christown, and the general consensus seemed to be that it's worse just because it's a busier station. I suppose it probably is. It's just not one that I use a lot, since I'm not ever really needing to go any further west on Camelback or south on 19th Avenue. At least not from there. But that predictably led into a discussion about Christown and was that mall ever nice, and a comment that got a lot of thumbs up and it's inaccurate but funny, got a lot of thumbs up in awards was, yeah, I think in the 1950s. I'm not sure when that mall was built. I should know that. I really should. I know I've read that factoid many times, but I can confirm that it was still a really nice mall in the 70s. But yeah, it was kind of turning to shit as far back as the 1980s. Yeah, about had it with the way that route, that sidewalk curves. I didn't feel like walking too close to those people at the bus stop that are very likely not waiting for a bus. So anyway, about my adventure in Christown, which was kind of, y'all got to see a little bit of that as I was starting to go off on a rant on the difference between tips and bribes. And I do feel like every tip that I got last week was in the form of a bribe. And super long story short on that, basically somebody who has told me that he really prefers my karaoke to the other karaoke guy, and that he wished I was there all the time, but yet he's always so impatient with me, like, am I coming up? Am I coming up? Am I coming up? And he never ever tips. And then, like, complained because the last song he gave me was a song I put him up to sing. He's like, well, I wanted that other song first. Yeah, you did nothing with me to communicate that you wanted that other song first. You give me a song, I expect that it's something you want to sing. And when I got somebody who tends to sing with other singers, I'm trying to balance those requests out so I don't end up in a situation where I've got a singer who's singing with other singers, singing 4 or 5 times, or even 2 or 3 times, before somebody who's waiting to sing gets to sing. Because that just seems like I'm playing favorites with them, and I'm really not trying to play favorites with anybody, except for the person who gives me a $20 bill. Or more. More can be done. I take it. Yeah, he, and I've even I had one person that I was getting frustrated with the week before, which is the week I was about ready to quit. And him and his friend both have a habit of each wanting to sing, but wanting to put their friend that they roll with, well, he needs a mic too. Well, he needs a mic too. Y'all need to figure it out. Like, it's either both y'all singing or it's only one of you singing. Because if you're singing on his song and he's singing on your song, that ends up with each of you guys singing twice during a rotation, and that's not fair to all the other people who are waiting to sing. And I was trying to explain that to the one guy, and he goes, oh, it doesn't matter, nobody cares. And I mean, it wasn't even 2 minutes before that I had somebody get up in my face because they felt I was making them wait too long to sing, because that guy's friend, very specific guy's friend, well, he just sang twice, and I'm still waiting to sing. And all I could do was kind of nod my head and say, yeah, sorry about that. And again, it wasn't by design. It's just a matter of, oh, yeah, give him a mic, because he's on my song. And I say it many times, but it just seems to go in one ear and out the other. Hey, I hand out as many mics as there are names on the slip. You want 2 mics, I need to see 2 names. By the way, that counts as a song for both y'all. Yeah, I say it just doesn't, nobody seems to listen. Speaking of listen and pushing stuff, man, if there's one thing that really pisses me off about the crowd at Bullock's, the karaoke crowd there, it's the phrase, give me a mic. Hey man, give me a mic. That's not the way you ask for anything. I remember a childhood nursery rhyme that kids used to sing on the playground that went, gimme, gimme never gets, don't you know your manners yet? And it just makes me wonder, and maybe I'm just not understanding, quote unquote, the culture. But anyway, it does get really frustrating. And of course, the gimme the mic people are all the ones that can't be bothered to write down their song or follow any kind of simple directions that are written on screens and on the karaoke books. So, I said I wasn't going to go back to that rant, but I guess I did. And I didn't even get to the part about Jim. I may as well get that out there. So what Jim told me, the reason he was paying me extra to come in, oh, this is an unnerving place to cross, because these people are not going to be paying attention to me when that light turns green. They're just going to go. All right, I made it. This is one of my least favorite places to walk and to cross, because it's been many, many months and some car smashed into that, which is the remnants of the button that you press for a walk signal. So yeah, there is a walk signal there, but I can't even press the button. Oh wow, it does change on its own. Well, good to know it does that. I didn't know it does that until this very moment. But yeah, the button there to ask to cross it's been smashed, and it's been smashed for months, and ADOT ain't fixing it. Speaking of things ADOT ain't fixing, on this one, the lights for the signal to let you know when to walk or don't walk, they've been burned out for months. They have not worked for months, and ADOT doesn't give a fuck about this stuff. You know, pedestrian infrastructure, what's that? ADOT exists to build freeways and highways. I think I'll hit the button. These guys need to slow down and hear as much as they can. Yeah, that intersection last week, I walked across some asshole's hood. He literally pulled right in front of me in the crosswalk. I'm like, okay, well, apparently you didn't notice I'm walking in the crosswalk. Maybe you'll notice if I walk on your car. So lucky I didn't get shot, but I just had enough. And somebody else had done the same thing coming out of that gas station there with their truck and actually pulled behind the bus. Like, you can't wait until the lane is clear from the bus to go. You've got to drive around the bus and cut off 2 lanes of traffic and a sidewalk. Fucking asshole. Why are you even allowed to drive? And by the way, this vehicle doesn't look like it passed any kind of vehicle inspection in Europe. What's up with your jalopy? Damn. So anyway, I'm just a bullock, so I better finish off this one story. So what Jim told me is that these people were being given, that he was paying me extra for them to come in because they said they were having an anniversary party, and that they wanted to if it were possible, that I could give them the mic so they could make some announcements about their anniversary. And what it turned out to be was some black owners of black businesses just wanting to promote their businesses and advertise their businesses around the framework of Black History Month, and basically get free advertising at the expense of the bar entertainment and my karaoke show and people waiting to sing. And Jim was very upset about it. He heard about it from other people before I even had a chance to talk to him about it. And I kind of get where he's coming from. He wasn't even as bothered that they did it as that they lied about what they wanted and what they were going to do. They said they were going to make an announcement about an anniversary, and there was no announcement about an anniversary. Anyway, on that note, I'm here. Time for another karaoke shit show. Thanks for coming with me on the walk. Oh, and I did get the adapter I needed. I'm going to have to talk about that later. It wasn't available as a singular item. I had to buy it as a pack with 2 other things I didn't necessarily need, but it was a pretty damn reasonable price for all 3 items. And I got a feeling, well, one of those items I don't need at all. One of the items could actually come in handy. And I'll hopefully talk about that more later.